The Electoral Commission of South Africa is targeting first-time voters made up mostly of youth for this weekend's voter registration. The Commission says its mandate to host the successful 2024 national and provincial elections starts in earnest today as well as tomorrow. But to help us unpack the importance of the youth vote and what to expect leading to the most anticipated elections, we're now joined by political analyst, Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Prof, a pleasure to have you on the program this evening. Now, considering the recent political events and also the challenges that have been highlighted, just like our youth have so far, such as unemployment, social issues, but also the ESCOM crisis as well, how do you anticipate these factors influencing the voter registration turnout during this critical weekend?
Yeah, I think there is a connection between public participation and the slow pace of service delivery. I mean, the IEC can have programs on civic education, but I think the big elephant in the room is the unhappiness of the electorate. And the fact that they are on the back foot in terms of receiving services. So that is on the one hand. On the other hand, the issue of political disengagement amongst young people, for me, it's a global phenomenon. I don't think that we can only confine it to the South African context. And that is caused by, among other things, the application of a neoliberalism, because what is the meaning of opting out of politics? It means that you are individualistic, you are not interested in the affairs of government and so on. And that also creates a scope for politicians to do as they please.
Right.
But interestingly, we have seen of late, a number of political developments. For instance, if you look at the Arab Spring, it was led by young people. If you look at the roads must fall, it was led by young people. If you look at the fees must fall, it was also led by young people. So that contrast of lack of political interest and also other activities that have been led by young people, I think the two, they're quite interesting in my view.
Let's zoom into that theme. And also, I mean, you serve as the director for the Center for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution. How do you see the current political climate impacting the security and peace dynamics in South Africa, especially in the context of the upcoming general elections?
Yeah, first of all, my view is that election is not an event. It's a process. So you have to look at, different milestones in the build-up to the day whereby people are going to cast their votes. So the environment, it must be free from threats. People must not be threatened. People must be allowed to campaign freely. And the beauty of it is that now we have a hybrid electoral system. So we have political parties who can campaign, but you also have individuals who have a right to stand. But I think normally the challenge is on the ground when people prevent others from engaging in electoral processes because they are blaming the IEC for not receiving services instead of channeling their anger to their leaders. But I think so far so good. I've not seen any threats. But the other threat which is posing danger to our democracy is the issue of political killings, because that is basically, a way of eliminating a competition,
right?
Which is something that we must pay attention to.
So earlier on the program, we discussed with your colleague Tessa Dooms the Exchange Voter Registration Platform, which effectively aims to enhance youth engagement and voter participation. Can you share your thoughts on how youth participation actually contributes to the security and stability of South Africa's democratic process?
Sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry about that.
I wanted to zoom into the youth participation and just reflecting on an earlier conversation we had with your colleague, Tessa Dooms, on the Exchange Voter Registration Platform, which effectively aims to enhance youth engagement and voter participation. Can you share your thoughts on how youth participation contributes to the security and stability of South Africa's democratic process?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I think, I am in favor of the hybrid system. Those who can register online should do so, but of course, I'm mindful of the divide that we have between the haves and the have-nots. So others should register in person. Now, the beauty of young people is that young people are future leaders. It is a concern for them to opt out of politics because that has a deeper meaning. It means that, in future we might not have enough leaders. And also without, the participation of young people, I don't think that our democracy can be consolidated. But at the same time, I think if you look at the historical development of youth participation in this country, we've had different epochs. The epoch of the 40s was different. The epoch of the late 60s, which coincided with the rise of a black consciousness and during the 70s and the 80s, I think those were different epochs because they demanded young people to respond to injustice. But I think at the moment, the concerns of young people have to do with economic development, right. Making their lives better.
Thank you very much for your time. That's Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast, unpacking day one of voter registration done and dusted, and it will resume tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. As we return, we will be speaking more about day one of voter registration and also unpacking other news. Do stay with us.